So when we asked consumers, they said they're going to spend about 20 billion on Christmas presents and festivities, which, as you say, is about 13% less than last year. And the majority say we're spending less because of the cost of living crisis. But it's not all lost. This time last year, they said the same, that they were going to spend less, but they actually spent more. So I'm still cautiously optimistic for Christmas because the majority of people do their Christmas shopping in the first 2 weeks of December.
And tell us also, what parts of the market are expected to do better than the others? What are the retailers, what are the items that people are more likely to buy?
Well, the shopper tells us they're going to prioritise their Christmas dinner, food and drink more generally, and then stocking fillers. And that's very consistent, Christmas on Christmas. But even across the year, if you look at where people have been spending, it's been very much about grocery. Their pets and children, but pets over children actually, but also things like health and beauty and clothing. But they've been spending less on big ticket electronics and technical devices, partly because of the cost of living crisis, but probably partly because some of it was bought across COVID.
And actually, I'm glad you're bringing up the issue of COVID, because when trying to compare 2022 to 2023, really, 2022 was the first Christmas that we didn't have to deal with COVID restrictions. How is that going to impact sales this year? Because obviously the feeling is a little bit different. We're not so much, in a way, carpe diem, let's enjoy the moment kind of thing.
I think last year, you're right, we were able to go back to seeing as many people, and actually when you see people who are a little bit more generous and buy more presents and slightly better food. So we've got the same conditions this year in the sense we haven't got the pickup from the recovery from COVID, but we've still got shoppers telling us actually special occasions and families are really important, and we are budgeting to Christmas and we do still want to make it really special.
And what we saw from a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, what could you read from those sales going into the Christmas period?
Again, Black Friday, I think, was quite subdued. The shopper told us they were going to spend less on Black Friday for a number of reasons, partly, again, cost of living crisis, but also they were saying we're trying to budget more for Christmas. And actually, men spend the most, but tend to spend it on electricals, where there's been less newness in electricals. So they were telling us they were going to spend less, and all the outlooks looked like they did spend less on Black Friday than prior year. But given Black Friday is more about yourself than about Christmas, we're hoping that actually it means that people have budgeted and have got a little bit more money in their pocket to spend on Christmas. And it's also helpful that inflation is currently coming down.
Yes, absolutely. And actually, I want to just get your thoughts on what this means or is likely to mean for the health of the UK economy. We're expecting this 13% drop in sales, but are we still looking at a better economic picture for the UK at this point in time?
It's really finely balanced in the UK, as it is, I think, globally. On the positive, we've seen inflation coming down, we've seen real income increases go above inflation. We've seen consumer confidence actually reasonably stable, and the job market actually is holding up. But on the negative side of it, we've got the full-year impact of interest rates on both mortgages and on rent. And we've also got a slightly more uncertain job market, particularly maybe for some of the younger generation. So it is really finely balanced going into Christmas, and that holds true, I think, going into 2024.
And therefore, as you look at the retail sector itself, how do you think we'll be describing this so-called golden quarter?
I think when we look back, it will have been okay, but subdued. So rather than see a decline in sales, I expect sales probably to be relatively stable across the Christmas period. But the slight worry then, if they are quite stable and people spend a little bit more, we might have a little bit of a credit card hangover, as I call it, as you go into January, as people have spent a little bit more because we've still got inflation, and therefore they do have to pay it off. But I think this will be okay, but I do think 2024 has a few headwinds that we're going to have to face into.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.